All right, we are going to be looking for the absolute extrema for this function on the given interval. Now remember that absolute extrema can happen in two different types of places. One is the endpoints of our interval. Well, we're given those. The other place is at any critical numbers. So the very first thing we're going to need to do is find out where the critical numbers of this particular equation are. And remember, to find the critical numbers, we're going to have to find the derivative and see where that derivative equals 0 or where the derivative does not exist. And since the derivative is just 6x minus 18, it will always exist. It's just a matter of solving that for x. And we find that x equals 3. But that only gets us so far, because in this case, since I'm looking for where the extrema are, I also want to know what's the y value that goes with that. So I'm going to take that value of 3 and I'm going to plug that back into the equation. Now notice I'm plugging it back into the original equation, not into the derivative, because I don't care what the slope is here. I want to know how high it is. And so I take that 3 and I plug it back into the original equation, and I get negative 27. So my critical number is at 3, negative 27. And now I repeat that same process with the endpoints, where I'm going to take the negative 2 and I'm going to plug it into the equation, and I'm going to take the 5 and plug it into the equation. When we do that, we get negative 248 and 5, negative 15. I now have all the information I need in order to identify where the absolute extrema are. So first one we're being asked for here in this case is the absolute minimum. So I'm looking for the smallest possible y value. So as I look at my y values here, the smallest one is the negative 27. So that is going to be my absolute minimum. And then I look through the y values for the biggest value to figure out where the absolute maximum is. And as I take a look at these y values, the biggest one I see is 48. So that means that is going to be my absolute maximum. And that then is the final answer. Those are our absolute extrema of the function for the given interval. Now you can actually see that taking place on the graph here, where the minimum value that it reaches on this interval is there at 3, and the maximum value that it reached was here at the start at negative 2.